be so strong. That picture perfect sky now, it looks so gray and cold. We've been laying here since 4 a.m. and you haven't said a word to me. Silent treatment, is this what it feels like when your heart is aching, when it bleeds? If it's over, just say it out loud. Say those words, go ahead, just shout it out. Just be honest, be a man right now. Say it's over, if it's over. Do you remember when we went to Paris in July? Got stuck out in the rain, but we danced around and didn't mind it. So young and reckless, baby, you and I fit just like a glove, but I guess that's over now. We've been laying here since 4 a.m. and you haven't said a word to me. Silent treatment, is this what it feels like when your heart is aching, when it bleeds? If it's over, just say it out loud. Say those words, go ahead, just shout it out. Just be honest, be a man right now. Say it's over, if it's over. If it's over, just say it out loud. Say those words, go ahead, just shout it out. Just be honest, be a man right now. Say it's over, if it's over. We've been laying here since 4 a.m. Silent treatment, is this what it feels like? If it's over, just say it out loud. Say those words, go ahead, just shout it out.
Hello, everybody.
Just be honest, be a man right now. Say it's over, if it's over.
Perfect.
Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Everyone always keep falling in love again. What's wrong with them? I don't understand. Maybe it will pass by, someone save me. Before I pass out, I'm too lonely to be done. I'ma drink at this place. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy and you don't know. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain? If I had an option to be someone else, I would, and let go of you. I know that I'm obvious, forget I made this way, but why didn't I stay when I had the chance? Maybe it will pass by, someone save me before I pass out. I'm too lonely to be done, I'ma drink at this page. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy and you don't know. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain? could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy that you don't. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain?
You and I, we're trouble inside. Beating hearts don't lie. An empty page.
Hello, and welcome everyone. Nice to have you all here. I've been busting my hump lately trying to get everything tweaked out and set up on here. And my latest pet project that I've been working on is printing out all of your lovely messages. So when you type a message into chat, well, Stanton Glance has to regurgitate what you say. So type something in chat and let's watch something come out. Pam Spraggins, hello and welcome to the chat. Mrs. Hunky Vape, I got your beautiful message. Simpson JFS, I got your beautiful message. This is wonderful.
I'm praying I'm not alone in this air of hope. 'Cause I'm in love,
Ian Thomas,
burning bright in my heart.
oh my goodness. What did Stanton Glance say? Hi, Alex in chat. Tied up for a minute. Well, let me introduce you to our lovely guest here. Here we have the lovely vaping heed, Mr. Kenny Thompson, joining us for the fun. Can you guys hear him? No, they can't. See that? I gotta change this. Give me one moment.
Get you back, check the tag. Journey for life, and I cancel your mail for a while. It's a journey for life, and I'm alright. Hang on.
I'm getting the notes, but I'm not getting your volume. Let me, hold on. I know what I didn't do. Okay. You're on VAIO. I gotta check voice meter potatoes. Another one of those updates I did. Excuse me, folks. Sorry for the dangle clacks. Now it doesn't sort it alphabetically in OBS, so here I am. No? Are you there?
One, two, 1, 2.
I think you're here.
Am I here?
Yeah.
Am I there?
Fantastic. I can't believe it's finally working. Sorry for the big hoopla there. But this is the way it goes sometimes when you're doing stuff live.
There we go. We're back.
Mrs. Hunky Vape says yay. Sean
Thank
Lynch
you.
said no. Mrs. Hunky Vape said no.
A lot of
Sean
noise.
Lynch says hi, vaping heed.
Hello, Sean. Nice to see you in chat again, sir.
Mrs. Hunky Vape says welcome back, Kenny.
I know. I've missed yous all.
Oh, this is awesome.
I like it.
It's fantastic. So what have you been up to?
Me? Oh. Well, obviously with the wife losing her father and stuff, we've been a bit busy with stuff like that. And basically just, sorting a few bits and bobs out, tying a few loose ends up, and I've been spending money as well on new lights and stuff, so the bank manager will not be happy with me.
Looks fantastic. Nice, beautiful green light in the background, lights up your wall. Looks fantastic.
It's a bit like it does strobe, I think. It's just on slow. I think it just changes.
That's good. It's
a
always
bit
nice
like
to have a
yours.
little change of pace.
Yeah, a little bit like yours in the corner there.
Yeah, and the one back there.
Yeah.
Another thing is, those things, they don't last like they used to, I mean, granted, we don't pay what we used to pay. Like in stage lighting, you used to spend thousands of dollars for a light, but I mean, it would last forever. All you got to do is change the light bulbs. Now with everything being LED, it's like, it's a lot cheaper to buy, but it also doesn't last as long. I've already gone through half a dozen of those lights back there that every once in a while they just stop working.
It's weird, wasn't it? I don't know. And this is technology for you. It's supposed to be so good, and yet it doesn't last 2 minutes.
Well, that's the greedy world that we live in. They would rather make things that, are disposable. You can't fix them anymore. So you got to go out and buy a new one. They make them cheap enough that, you don't even blink an eye and just go spend the 20 or 40 quid and, off you are. Got a new thing.
It, isn't it? Because it's that cheap, you don't bat an eyelid. You go, well, obviously you don't do anything in half measures. You buy about 10 or 20 or...
My wife would probably agree with you.
I think she does, like...
I overdo it.
Yep.
But you know what? I want to do it right. I've learned so many times in my life, when you take the cheapest way out, eventually you're going to end up spending the money on what you were originally looking at in the first place.
It is. It's like a false economy type of thing, isn't it? It's worth spending the extra few quid to get something a bit better rather than buying something cheap and having to keep buying it over and over again. It's makes sense. It does. Definitely makes sense.
Mrs. Hunky Vape says, "Yes, you do. I'm not a happy wife."
I was just looking at that there. She still loves you, man. Just, I wouldn't worry about it.
This is my pet project. This all started because of the whole super chat thing. I wanted to be able to print it out and never miss anything. So I'm like, well, you know what? Let's go back to the basics. I'm going to go back and I want to monitor every single chat. And until I can get that right, I'm not even worried about the rest of it. Besides, people made the comment to me. They're like, man, I hope you don't, get like these other reviewers and stuff out there. Once you make it big and stuff, you only do things for your subscribers and you only do private streams.
God,
and
no. Nah. Keep it public. That's what you should do. You know what I mean? That's probably the fine. Right, that's probably the difference with some reviewers. Obviously, not just necessarily vape reviews, but it could be reviewing anything to make a living from it. It's their bread and butter. So that's probably why they do it. But to me, it's just a hobby. I would doubt. Even if I did, miraculously grow big, I'd still be pretty much the same. That's the whole point of it, you know what I mean? Content creation, it's free, that's the point of it. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Pam Spraggin says, like my dad used to say, when you buy a dime store butcher knife, that's exactly what you got.
Yep, totally agree.
Sure is.
Definitely agree with
There's
that.
an old story out there, and and I hear a lot of people arguing about, poverty and how do we get out of poverty? We've made things as cheap as possible. Yeah, you make things as cheap as possible, but the stuff that you sell cheap as possible is garbage and has to be replaced. Every couple months, and bam, you're going out and buying a new pair of shoes because your cheap $20 sneakers won't last if you use them every single day, day in and day out.
But saying that, there is a counter argument with that. I bought a very famous branded shoe. I paid a hell of a lot of money for them, and they didn't last much longer than the cheaper pair I had. So there is a few caveats there.
Yeah, you can pay for a name or you can pay for quality.
Yeah.
Sometimes you pay for both. But if you get yourself something that's good quality, like a pair of work boots, you might spend $300-400 on a pair of good work boots, but those good work boots are going to last you 5 or 6 years. Whereas if you just spend $100 on a pair of work boots, you might get a year out of it.
I've still got mine in the cupboard, and they're about 11 years old. And they actually still fit as well. And they're still in one piece. I'm quite pleasantly proud of that one. 11 years, bloody hell. Well, Dr. Martens, that's what they are over here. Dr. Martin boots. Last 11 years. I think it's because they had steel toe caps in them, and because they were so damn uncomfortable at times, that's probably why they've lasted so long. I wore them as little as possible.
Yeah, running on the ambulance, believe me, I had to have steel toe shoes and steel soles and the whole 9 yards. And
oh, they're not comfortable when you're on your feet all day. Nope.
I went through 3 pair of the $100 boots before I realized if I spend the $250 on the better quality boots, they're going to last longer. I still have that pair of boots sitting in my closet.
Yeah, just the last one.
The lugs on them, they're so hard. You know, they hardly have any wear on them whatsoever. If it wasn't for all the scuff marks on the toes from, you know, when you're kneeling down on the road, you wouldn't even be able to tell that they're old shoes.
That's the fashion now. Anyway, scuffed toes and all that stuff, and worn out looking boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a fashion
How about
thing now,
is
you
your
know what I
daughter wearing jeans with all kinds of holes and rips and tears in them, and won't wear a pair that doesn't have any?
mean? Definitely, you've hit the nail on the head for that one. Most definitely.
I can't believe it. My mother would have a heart attack if she saw the clothes that my daughter goes to school in.
Well, I used to do that. I'd done that when I was younger. I used to buy in my day, like Wrangler jeans were an expensive brand. They were like 90 quid a pair, and I used to buy them. I used to put them on, get in the bath with them on, put bleach in so they'd be all bleached and clad and spotted, get them bleached, and then tear holes in them, right? Then cut the legs halfway up into my calf muscles so I could put some 18-hole Dr. Martin boots on, and my mother used to go absolutely ballistic.
Oh, these kids nowadays.
It's just what you did then for it was a fashion thing, wasn't it? That's where it was, and you ruin perfectly good clothes just for a look.
Now you go to the store and that's how they sell them.
Exactly, and they still cost a fortune as well.
Yeah.
What am I paying for? The jeans or the holes? Come on.
Paying for nothing.
Exactly. Wow. Aye, them were the days. Punk rocker, I think I was then. That's what it was. A bit of a punk rocker then. I still am at heart.
Yeah, I was more of the pop. I was into the pop music when I was growing up in the 80s. That was all the rage for myself. And as I moved out into Pennsylvania from the Cleveland, Ohio area, got into country music out here.
Yeah.
So then it became the thing where I was my primary focus. And as a DJ, I had to play all kinds of music.
Yeah. Do you not think, like, as you get older, like when I was a teenager, I went through all the phases. I went through punk rock, there was mods, there was ska music, there was the heavy metal, all of that. Went through every stage of that. And at the time when you're focused on that kind of music, and then the other music you thought, it was all crap. But as you mature and get older and you listen to them old tunes, you think, why did I not like that? It's quite a good tune. You know what I mean? Yep. It's like that. I used to hate that record, but now I've sat and listened to it. It's a bloody good tune.
Yeah, as a DJ, I had to listen to everything because you never know what somebody's going to ask for depending on what you're at. You know, birthday parties, weddings, and stuff. It's all different.
Definitely.
A little more conservative in the weddings. Some people are just they let it all out on their wedding. They don't care who likes it or doesn't like it.
Oh, of course not. Like I say, you've been in various gigs, you've everything from good old rock and roll to, heavy metal. It's just so much variance across the board, isn't it? In the space of a couple of hours. Yep. But like everything else, it's subjective, isn't it? Everybody's got their own taste in music, so you've got to try and cater for everybody, haven't you?
Yeah.
As much as you may hate some of it, you've still got to play it.
Yes. Yes, we do.
That's the right thing. I think the DJs just put the headphones on to tune they don't like, so they don't have to listen to it. I'm quite convinced about that now. You never know.
So how are you wonderful people out there doing this lovely week?
People in chat, hello all.
I'm going to jump scenes just for a moment so you guys can also watch Stanton Glance. Join our conversation in here.
Yeah. Mrs. Hunky has a horrible headache and is angry. Hungry. Sorry, not angry. Hungry. Leave our air conditioner pants run. I don't know what you mean by that one now.
I feel bad for Mrs. Hunky Vape because this morning, I jumped straight into work because it was last night after hours upon hours of toiling at this thing, trying to get everything working, that I finally got it to work, and then we had to have dinner. So this morning, I'm like, listen, there's a couple things I still need to fix on there. So I jumped right on the computer, and she left for work this morning. I didn't even get to say goodbye to her or nothing.
Oh.
She's a trooper, though, supporting this whole effort there. Just like, last week, she gave me a $50 super chat, and somebody was asking, like, you realize that is your money? I'm like, yes, I understand that. But like my wife pointed out, this is my business that I'm trying to build. So, and people don't realize, YouTube takes a massive cut out of whatever, you put in there. Number one, and number two, even once you get all this stuff and you can have it, they don't pay anything to you until you hit at least $100.
I mean, what I've heard, what you get off YouTube is just very pitiful and very.
Oh, the last news, I think I've made it so far 19 cents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At this rate, it's going to take me 10 years before I see any money from Google.
That's what I mean. You'd have to have something like a 50, 60, 70,000 subs to even think about making anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it is a bit brutal for, small content creators or new content creators. It's very brutal, the 4,000 hours and the 1,000 subs and all that stuff. No, man, it's absolutely crazy. It's just so hard at times, but that's the wonderful world of YouTube, isn't it?
Sure is.
Oh, where are we at?
Fantastic. So what do you all think of this lovely Stanton Glance that keeps regurgitating your messages?
It's cool.
Kind of cheesy, novel. I know.
It's novel. We'll say it's novel. But a nice novel.
It's my way of feeling a little satisfaction, knowing, here he is sitting there keeping smokers smoking deadly cigarettes for who knows how long, just because, he keeps putting doubt in their mind. Oh, it's not safer. It's not safer.
I know, it's people need education, man. That's what it's all about. That at the end of the day, education. Hi, Ian Thomas, bud.
Fantastic. And like I said, this is all part of the growing process. So those of you out there that feel like, only the super chatters actually get the attention, well, guess what? Now you guys get the attention. And it isn't going to be an all-day thing because I can't afford the rolls of paper. But eventually it will be set up so that it'll be set up just for, super chats. But there will be times and days that we'll have this as a special so that, you guys can all have this stuff. Plus, everything that is happening here on the printer also gets uploaded to the Discord server I've been working on. So I've got a Discord server set up, and, we can have a record of all your interactions on the live stream.
You're a very busy boy, haven't you?
Yes, I have been. And I want to thank my wife for being so patient and understanding. I've been, locked up in this studio day in from, sun up until sundown every single day, not doing any chores at home. But that's what it takes to actually get this set up, because once it's set up, I won't have to mess with it at all.
It is. You're true enough. It's like I say. It's just the setting up and ironing out the bugs and all that. Probably, you know what it is. It was probably quicker for you to set it up. It's just the bugs that you're trying to iron out. That's probably what that's the battle.
And the fact that, you know, as somebody that's got, you know, a master's degree in information security, I'm normally the one that looks at other people's codes and finds problems in it. I don't write the code. So it's like a whole separate language in itself. You know, adding an extra space or having a colon instead of a semicolon makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And until you get everything perfect, it's not going to run.
Nope. There's no room for error with that stuff, like, not at all. Margins are zero, aren't they? Literally.
Yeah. But it's the cost of trying to make yourself better and improve.
Mrs. Hunky Vape, he's spending more time on this than he is with me, and I leave in 4 days for a work trip.
Yes, she has done such a fantastic job at work that her store is the fastest growing store in the Pittsburgh region. So she's getting an award for that, and they're having a convention in Minnesota, I believe, and she's going to be off trekking to that.
Oh, well done, Mrs. Hunky Vape. Well done. Awesome.
Awesome sauce. Thank you, baby.
Yeah, they say behind every great man there's a great woman. Could be vice versa in your case, my friend.
Yep. I'm telling you, she has been such a trooper in supporting my efforts here. Just last night, you know, I was like, okay, well, I got this one plugin that normally costs $200 on sale for $15. Can we splurge for that? Well, I got my trip coming up. I'm like, yes, you can have it.
Oh, awesome. Love it.
Plus, that's the original camera I have set up. She even stopped on her way back from our anniversary trip to pick up a new input box that takes the HDMI signal from that camera and runs it into the computer.
Wow.
So we've both been kind of spending the bank account to try and make our stuff better.
You're spoiled. That's what's the matter. She's spoiling you. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but you with your new lights and the new lens coming.
Well, you know.
You've
fantastic. Got to now and then, haven't you? You've got to now and then, haven't you? It's you know.
Well, what are we going to mix today? You have any ideas on what kind of flavors you want?
Do I really need to tell you?
You're going to say custard again, aren't you?
Me?
My only problem with the custards is it takes forever to get them to develop.
That's why I don't mix custards, because I'm so impatient. I'm sitting, come on. I mean, look at when I had that one shot on Steve for 6 weeks. It lasted as a week. It was gone. And there was like nearly half a litre had gone.
Sean Lynch said vaping is safer than smoking cigarettes. That will always be true.
Yeah.
Even when your coils look disgusting.
I'll tell you what. I've never found a really nice cherry bagel. What do you reckon of that one?
Ooh, cherry's such a hard one to do because I have yet to find a good cherry flavor. They're either very astringent or they just have an off taste. It doesn't taste like a real cherry.
That's slapping the gauntlet.
It's artificial. My cherry that I originally started to try and mix ended up turning into a whiskey because it was so strong.
Whiskey.
And that's what the recipe is listed on ELR. The cherry whiskey.
Cherry whiskey, wow.
Now, I could probably cut the percentage way back to try and get that cherry flavor, but in my haste of mixing, I just said, okay, 5% looks good. I put that in there. Oh.
Oh, wow.
This is one of those flavors you got to do less than 1%.
Very, very potent, eh?
Very much
Ian
so.
Thomas said, Hunky Vape, have you tried TPA Vanilla Custard 2? It's good off the shake, apparently. Vanilla Custard, must be 2. He's got 2 lines there, so it must be Vanilla Custard 2.
I'm looking to see if I have it.
He's gone into the back of the lab, guys. I know, guys, I'm vaping in the house. I get shot with shit if she catches us.
I don't believe I do. I don't even believe I have a version 1 in a TPA. Capella.
That's what Ian Thomas has come up with, sir. TPA Vanilla Custard 2.
I'll have to put that on my list for the next flavor order.
Yeah.
For the holidays. I'm not asking my wife for a special order. When it comes to holidays and she asks me what I want, I'll hand her the list from, Bull City, or she'll buy me a gift certificate like she did for Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. Spending more time. I've just nipped on the neb through chat there. Thomas, indeed, that's the way TBA name it. AF.
Yeah, that would make sense, Ian Thomas, because if you have a version 1 that's before they did the whole diacetyl, acetylene, the whole DAP scaremongering stories.
Yeah.
So all the version 2 of these flavorings have all the DAP removed from them, and you get the same, supposedly the same flavor, without the potential harm that comes from it.
I see.
All right, let's see if this works today.
What we're doing now? What we're going for?
Zoom in works. That was another bug I had to eliminate from the stream. Because every time Chrome is on a new tab, it gives the whole window a whole new name based on what your tab you're on. So instead of doing it as a window capture, I just did a screen capture. Because the screen isn't going to change its name until Windows does an update and then calls it number 4 instead of number 1.
Exactly. It's these little things you've got to try, mate. Honestly, these little things.
But it is so wonderful to actually have everything working the way it's supposed to.
You're doing well this week, mate. You're doing very well. Where's my box? I've lost my box.
And it's lovely because now I can keep things on screen. So those of you watching this at home don't have to squint when you're looking at your little phone screens or...
That's awesome, bud. I've been spending money and all again. I'm getting this guy in, which I've been trying for the last few weeks. I'm a little bit late to the party with it, but I'm gonna have to. Hang on, I'm just making sure I don't show any URLs because it is covered. There, I'm just getting that in, guys.
Ooh, what is that?
That is the Eclipse Duel by Yacht Vape and Mike Vapes. That's another one Mike Vapes has put his name to.
Fantastic.
It's by Yacht Vape and Mike Vapes. He did do the Eclipse, which was a single coil RTA, and this is the dual coil. I never did get the single coil one, but this is the dual coil version. Currently got it in black, and it's sitting on the old G Class 2, and that's what it looks like with the bubble glass on. And you can see that very much. There you go.
Fantastic.
And it is quite nice.
Mrs. Hunky Vape Super Chat here is helping you get the flavors you want. $2. Awesome.
Well done. Yeah, I tell you, she's spoiling you. I'm telling you.
Yes, she is.
She's ruining you. Absolutely.
And
ruining you.
unfortunately, because this is just checking for messages, Super Chats are not considered a chat message, so it didn't print a receipt, but it did pop up on screen. So thank you, Mrs. Hunky Vape. Very much appreciated.
It's
all
awesome
right.
how she's spending your money wisely, sir.
She's the one making it, so she gets to decide how we spend it.
Oh, bless
Doing
him.
this, YouTube stuff for a living, make no money. The only time I make money is for service calls, for computer repairs and stuff like that. And then my customers take forever to pay me back. Here's your invoice. Here, the last one I did was over a month and a half ago. I still haven't seen a check.
Wow. You need a debt collector, mate.
Vaping Snowman, hello and welcome.
Hello, Vaping Snowman. There's a lot of new names coming in now. Where have I been? God, minute.
I love
Where
it.
have I been?
And the other wonderful thing is because I have everything set up automatically, all this stuff is going into a text file, so I'll be able to do other stuff with that later on.
Yeah, you see, you're a
Once you
man
get
of many
automated,
talents.
it's so easy to add little things here and there.
Yeah, you're a man of many talents.
Well, let's see what kind of recipe we can come up with here.
Come on, what we're going for this week?
What do you guys suggest we make?
Oh, look, I've just seen it as well. Yeah, cherry whiskey on that previous page. where you
Yeah.
mentioned it. It was there. My God.
I think it's funny how, when you ask what kind of recipes to make it shows you all the ones you already made because you already have all the ingredients to make it.
That's, yeah. That's the easy way out of that, like.
Vimto.
Ooh,
What we talking about, Vimto?
Vimto. Not that bad.
Sean Lynch says Vimto.
Vimto. I've never really seen a Vimto. Have you seen a Vimto? I've never seen a Vimto before. Would be
Don't know
nice.
what a Vimto is.
It's a drink.
Is it?
Like I think you guys in America call it soda. It's pop, fizzy drink.
Okay. What kind of flavor is it?
It's got a very unique flavour. It's very hard to describe the flavour, actually. It's a bit like an energy drink. Certain energy drinks have got that flavour. Like maybe Dr. Pepper has got that flavour. Well, Vimto has got that flavour for Vimto. You know what I mean? I think it's basically it's like I think it's fruit based, obviously. Oh God, what the hell is it like? What? I'm trying to actually taste it in my head to try and describe it.
I've never had one, so I can't relate to it. That's like the second or third time he's asked for it.
I don't know if it's available in the US. It must be available in the US. Gotta be.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a soft drink.
Go
I'll
up.
have to have a gander on that one. Oh, let's have a look.
Vimto Fruit Splash, fruit flavored
There
drink.
it is. There's Vim2. That's Vim2.
Black currant, grape,
Blackcurrant.
raspberry.
That's it, man.
Well, there we go. We can make a recipe like that.
See, it is. Obviously, it is available in America because you've got Walmart. There you go. You
Hey.
can get it.
And since we're doing a screen capture, I could literally save our list over there. And let's just create a recipe. See if we can get this. Vimto. We'll call it a V1 because probably gonna have to go through multiple iterations of this.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement. It is. It's got its like own unique flavour type thing. It's a nice drink. It is nice.
Okay.
There you go. Sean's just put it in the chat there. Black currant, grape, and raspberry. That's it. Yeah, what we've got there. Thanks to the wonderful world of Google.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to save this now. I'm going to go over to my recipe stash.
Percentages, I wouldn't have a clue. I'm trying to think if there's any prominent flavour in it.
So I have black currant from Wonder Flavors. Okay.
I wonder if the blackcurrant is prominent flavour in it.
Grape I have from a bunch of different places. We got grape juice from TFA. And we need raspberry.
Just catching up with chat there. Everybody's up to date pretty much.
I appreciate you doing that. I really need to clean my desk off today.
It's spending them many hours, you see. You just accumulate shit while you're there.
Yeah, I keep working and it's like, okay, well, here's my cup of coffee. Here's another cup of coffee. Here's a cup of tea
Yep.
since it's getting cold out. Switch to tea.
Very English of you, sir.
I didn't put any cream in it.
Oh,
So,
no,
it's not a cream.
We don't have cream in tea. That's just a myth, That's just for posh people.
Ah.
Good old-fashioned milk is for your common man users. Cream tea, I say. Royalty, that's for royalty cream tea.
TFA sweet raspberry.
There you go.
Fantastic. So now I know what flavors. Let's jump back to the recipe. We're going to edit this.
I don't know what's fair. What?
Grape juice. And black currant.
Ribena is very similar to it, apparently, which is again a blackcurrant drink.
And I think we're going to
Vimto is
go
also-
super sweet.
Vimto is also like very sweet as well, so you might want a bit of sweetener in it.
All right, we'll push that. 1.5.
I'm just having a quick look on Google under Vimto, and it says it contains the juice of grapes, raspberries and blackcurrants in a 3% concentration, flavoured with herbs and spices. Jesus.
Herbs and
3%?
spices. We
What
don't
the
talk about a
hell?
little posh.
Well, you did. I put a bit of parsley in with it or something. What the hell?
Put some black tea in it. There's our spices. Have a nice day.
Exactly.
All right, so let's save this and give this thing a try.
I'll get rid of that. I'll get one back. Oh, there we are. We're back in the room. We are back in the room, boys and girls.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's one thing. It is a very sweet blackcurrant, I would say.
That's kind of like the cola recipe that Flavors had me throw together with their ingredients. Very, very sweet. It's more like the cola syrup that you put into the carbonated water.
Yeah.
Very delicious.
Oh God, no, we're not knocking that. It will be bloody very tasty, as you know.
And surprisingly, it's good off the shake. I mean, it obviously gets better with time, but it surprised me how you put it together and all of a sudden it actually tastes like a cola. It tastes kind of like a generic cola, like you buy in those big, 3-liter containers for parties and whatnot. But after that thing sat for a while, man, that was like a really good cola. And he told me that the inspiration for that was like when he was in Vegas, went to Las Vegas, and he had a, cola from the bar, which is basically just a fountain cola that they have. That was his inspiration for developing that recipe.
Ah, very nice. I meant to ask you, that Storm Ian affect you at all? I'm in the wrong part of the world.
Oh no, that was south. I was down near
you're further
Florida.
north. Yeah, you're further north, aren't you? I'm
So
terrible
like
with geography.
Wendy was affected by that. Phil Basardo was affected by that.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I'm up north.
Right.
Pennsylvania borders New York, which is the border for Canada.
Ah, right. I'm terrible with my geography. I'm absolutely useless.
Most of us don't pay attention to it because we don't have plans on visiting that part of the world.
I would love to come over there, your part of the world, but I just can't.
Oh, I'd love to come over to England. Believe me, I've been to Europe multiple times.
It costs a bloody fortune.
My parents are from Hungary, so, I visited there half a dozen times as I was growing up. I'd like to go back with my wife one day, maybe after I finally retire.
Hey,
Take a trip there and visit some family.
Why not?
That would be, I think, a nice experience. All right, so let's get this recipe started here. Guess we'll start off with some secret sauce. The forbidden fruit.
My wife's got some distant relatives like living in Florida where like they were hit by it, like, but they managed, like, it wasn't too bad. So, which flavour are you going to make the prominent one? That's the question.
Grape juice.
The grape, yeah.
Man, am I being sloppy today?
7 long hours, man. You'd be very tired.
We had a great time up at camp when we went up for our anniversary.
Oh,
and
pleased for you.
It was just so nice to just get away from it all. Even internet is a thing that you don't have up there unless you pay for the local Wi-Fi.
Well, I mean, that's the point of a break, isn't it? Is just to get away from all the rat race and all the technology and stuff, and just get back to living simple, isn't it, really?
And the temptation, because you don't even realize how many times you pick up your phone and just start messing around. Every time you're bored or, something catches your mind or you have a question about something, you Google it and...
Yeah. I mean, where I am, we've got, like, the Lake District's only about an hour up the road, and it's just beautiful part of the UK, and it's out in the country and out the way of everything. It's, it's fantastic. Lovely place to unwind. Very popular with tourism.
This blackcurrant is at 3%.
Blackcurrant flavor, yeah.
That should be 0.9 grams for a 30 ml bottle.
I think some blackcurrant e-liquids are a bit friggin' harsh as well. I think the blackcurrant's a bit too much on some of them.
Yeah, that's definitely something that, you have to be careful of.
Yeah. Again, they're like it's a very strong, it's like a cherry in it. It's either too strong or it's too weak. Just trying to get a happy medium is pretty difficult with it, I believe.
It's also an alcohol-based flavor.
Yeah.
So if you don't give that alcohol a chance to air out of your solution, air out of your bottle, you get that when you're vaping it. It can be very astringent by itself.
If it's alcohol, I'll get more than if that's the case. Just give us a
0.9 grams, you're not going to get very much. I'm sorry. All right, so we're also going to do sweet raspberry. That's also going to be at 3%.
It might be a nice little shaky one. This it might work.
Should be. It's all fruits.
Yeah, it's fruits, isn't it?
This may be my new all-day vape. You never know.
Hello, Dusty County Road. He's in the chat.
Dusty Country Road. Hello and welcome. My opinion, 1929, as well.
I do apologise. I said county there instead of country. My apologies. It's these bloody bifocal glasses, man. You can read it one minute, you can at the next.
You got to tilt your head like this to figure out what you're going to see. Can I see it better this way or can I see it better this way?
Yeah, exactly that. It's exactly that.
Now we got some grape juice here. 5%.
when I used to work on the CNC machines, you know, and you could tell everybody were bifocals because when they're looking at the screen at the program, they're all looking up in the air like so and peeping down their glasses, and you could see them all. They all look like a bunch of meerkats, all looking up. And it was mad. We could tell it. He's got bifocals on. He's got bifocals on. He just stood out like a sore thumb. It was funny times. Long, boring times, but funny times as well. Ooh, that's really nice.
It smells kind of potent. That's that alcohol flavor. Alcohol-based flavor needs to evaporate.
It's a pretty strong flavor anyway.
That's why some people heat this stuff up, or they'll put it over a hot plate. Whenever they get done mixing it, they'll leave it sit over a hot plate for a while, and that heat causes the alcohol to raise up out of the solution and evaporate.
Really?
Yeah.
Never knew that, like. Never knew that at all.
All right, 3.7 grams of PG.
We have, I hope I don't knock your name up, is it Met Jose from Denmark in chat? Hello. I do apologise if I've cocked your name up.
Hello and welcome. I went way over on the PG, so it's going to be a little thinner than normal, but ultimately that's not going to make that much of a difference.
That's why it's in version 1, you see.
I tried to be careful. I really did, but you look away for 1 second while you're squeezing the bottle and forget it.
Splotch.
So now, for our vegetable glycerin, we're just going to fill it up to the line. Let's like cock that up.
We're only human, even the best do it now and then, man.
Listen, if you're over 1/10 of a gram, nobody's going to even notice the difference. But when you're over almost 2 grams...
I was the same when I was doing a little bit of mix, when I was trying to have my scales and everything. Now I wasn't going over by a couple of grams. I was going over by 4s and 5s, mate. Easy, yeah, get it in. No problem.
And then you wonder why it didn't quite taste right.
Well, it actually probably tasted better in most cases because I was terrible.
Well, yeah, if you're pushing a one shot, you can push that at a higher percentage and it's just going to taste better.
Oh, but that just, well, cut over. Never mind. The damage is done. You can't undo it, can you? So.
No, and to be honest with you, when you're only talking about, PG or VG, doesn't matter. That doesn't really make that much of a difference. Sure, some devices can't handle it, but most of them, it doesn't matter whether you're max VG, which is like 90% vegetable glycerin, or you go with, a 50-50 even. You might get a chance of it leaking a little if you have, something that's got loose cotton.
I kind of push towards max VG. I like the max VG stuff.
That's why your clouds are so big.
VG. Well, shh. Anything above 70-30, basically.
Yes.
Wattage doesn't help either. Oh, hang on. Oh, we got this.
Stint and glance keeps disappearing. I've disabled everything I possibly could in Canon to keep that camera running, but it just keeps shutting off.
Is that because you switched scene? It's not on, or I don't know.
No, it's on. The problem with the original Canon M50 is it wasn't developed for streaming. It's a camera, so it's going to shut off after 30 minutes at the longest that you can keep it on.
That's right, yeah.
Or the camera's going to stay on, but the screen shuts off. And because it wasn't designed for streaming, it wasn't designed to have the HDMI output the whole time. The only time it doesn't pay attention to that 30-minute thing is if you're playing back from the camera. So if you took a 40-minute video...
No, there's a way around that. I've got maybe DSL. Just get a dummy battery.
I got a dummy battery.
Yeah, just in a
but in the menu settings, it only lets you keep it on for 30 minutes. If you don't touch anything,
because you're recording, that's why. It'll
Yeah.
only let you record for half an hour. I'm with you.
now the M50 Mark II lets you disable it completely, and you can have the HDMI sitting here running.
Yeah.
I mean, this camera's been on, I can't tell you how long.
Well, my
Weeks, months.
I'm on my DSLR now, and it'll go all day like it is. But as soon as you hit the record, you get your 30 minutes, and then that's it. Bonk.
And that's a VAT issue, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because in order for it to be a camera, it has to stop at 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Otherwise, it's considered a video recorder or a camcorder, and it's taxed at a different rate.
Yeah. Plus, you'd probably get some cameras you had overheating issues anyway as well. So there's that as well.
Yeah. But they could very easily design it to deal with the heat issue, and they could very easily disable, give you the option of disabling it if that's what you chose to do.
Yeah.
But our lovely politicians pooch screwed that too.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
Well, I'm going to have to wick something up here because I was still working on the code. So let's see, we clean this off. Let's throw some cotton in there.
We have a quick question of Dusty Country Road. He's having trouble getting enough flavour for his wife's mouth-to-lung devices. When mixing up recipes, what could it be?
Actually, you're just going to have to make it at a different recipe than what you would have for your direct lung devices. The flavoring concentrations are going to need to be pushed higher. So the easy solution would be, if you find a recipe that you love in your device, make that recipe as a one-shot. So basically all you're doing is putting in the actual flavorings and enough to bring it to your same, VG-PG percentage you normally develop it at. Then you can decide if you make a bottle, like just your flavorings, make it as a recipe one-shot. When you use it for your devices, you run it at, let's say 8% or 10%, whatever that rest percentage is that you need to have. And when you originally created your recipe, it told you what the percentage of the flavorings is. Like for this recipe, this one is set up at 12%. You see that right there? So for 12%, this is going to be the concentration. Now, if this is a good recipe, but it doesn't work in a mouth to lung device, just crank that up to like 16% or 17%, and then see how your wife likes it. And if she still doesn't like it, bump it up to 20%. That's what you got to do for the mouth to lungs.
Sometimes if it's sometimes maybe he's making your juice thinner as well, because there's 50-50 mix is quite a popular mix for mouth to lung. So maybe just try a thinner mixture as well.
Yeah, if you change it to a 50-50 mixture, like I did that for my wife with the one shot that we did. I don't remember what the name of the flavor was, but I did that as a one shot for her little pot system that she's got, because it needs the actual 50-50 juice. The actual product tells you the 50, do not use max VG juice in here.
No.
50-50 is the preferred liquid for it. And that extra PG will also carry more flavor too.
Yeah. I've been a sucker for it myself. I've just put some normal bog standard shop bought stuff in a mouth to lung, and it just didn't taste the same. It needs to be thin, maybe thinned out a bit. Thin it out and bump the flavour. There you go.
Yeah, that's the ultimate thing is, mouth to lung devices, because they use very, very little e-liquid for each puff, needs to be very concentrated.
Totally agree. And that's coming from a novice.
You're very welcome, my friend.
Probably why, like I say, your disposables are so strong in flavour, because they're very sweet and they're very highly concentrated in flavour, you know what I mean? So
they were designed for that way.
They were designed that way, yeah. And the coils, for that matter.
I packed up all my building tools to take it up to camp to rewick this thing, and I never bothered to rewick it, so now I have to unpack it.
what device we're going for, like? What are you putting it on?
This would be Bruce Pro Innovations Yellow Jacket.
That is some very strange looking top cut. That cutout looks mint. Has it got like an Ultim insert in that top cut, yeah?
Yeah, it's an Ultim top cap.
Looks cool, that jacket on, like the stainless steel jacket.
So there we have it.
Aye. That's kind of mint, that. Just try vaping it without the Ultim on it. Just put the stainless steel bit on.
I don't think it'll
The
stay.
airflow will be magnificent.
It was
wouldn't
designed to have this cap on. And here I am loading this up and doesn't even have a battery in it.
Oh my god. You know, I'm the same. Sometimes when I do reviews, my organisation is absolutely pathetic.
Well, when I'm doing a review, I normally prep for it ahead of time. So I got everything cleared off. I try and get things laid out that I need to have. But there's always that one time where you forget one thing,
Yep.
You get everything, you got all your tools out all laid out, but you don't have the coil.
Me, it's normally the juice. Oh, let's juice this up. Oh, the juice is in the next room.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
I'm terrible, man, honestly.
And this is a pretty interesting little squonking device because they actually have pinholes in the top cap. So when you're have it on a squonker and you squeeze it, it literally comes out this top and then flows down.
Oh, yeah. It like drops down on the top of the coil type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is better. It saves it drawing it up, doesn't it? Oh. We have Michael Redfern, who's just joined in the chat. Hello, sir.
Hello and welcome, Michael.
And the wonderful Mrs. Hunky Vape has said, Mr. Hunky Vape has no, in capital letters, organisation.
Oh my goodness.
You're making bunting
You
now,
all
aren't
have been really active in chat today.
You're making bunting now,
Nice.
aren't you? That's what that
I
is.
love
it's
it.
bunting. He's making bunting.
The
That's what
holidays
you're
are coming
hanging
up.
aren't you?
I can use that
Yep.
to decorate all around the room.
Yeah, that's it. You've just given him some bunting.
Fantastic.
Wow. Tell you what,
The
he's gonna
simple
need some
things.
paper.
The simple things that amuse me.
Well, there is a saying, little things please little minds, apparently.
Ooh, thank you.
Sorry, but you did hide the welcome mat out.
I asked for it. I asked for it. Don't feel bad.
Oh my god.
Put the cap on and shake this a little more. Definitely needs more sweetness.
Yeah.
1% wasn't enough.
It as a drink, it's a very, very sweet drink as well. It's like a tooth rotter.
Yep. And this is the nice thing for us to be able to do. We can simply go in and add. We set it up at 1%. So I can literally modify this recipe to 2%. But all we know is we need to add it to 1 more percent. So it's 0.32 again to this juice. And we've just made this juice a 2%.
Yeah.
So I'm going to change the recipe here first. Just by going down here and changing this to a 2, not a 3. I don't want to rot the coils. But as soon as you change that up there, now you'll see it's 0.64 in the recipe. So all I need to do is add 0.32, and now this is going to be this new recipe.
It's awesome. You can just tweak them about, innit, when you're sorting them out. Sorry, just every time you touch something, you lose your window. There you go.
And if you're out shopping for ingredients, definitely get yourself one of these cap removers. In Australia, they have to have them because they have to nick up their bottles. But here, this is a DIY definite buy tool. You always have to have one or more than one of these.
Just a posh bottle opener, isn't it?
Yeah. It is basically just a bottle opener, but it's got this nice bevel on it. Works really good with these plastic bottles.
I think we use them like for these, you know, like these short fills here. We'll buy, you've got to nick these up yourself as well. And like I see, they've got the silly little cap on that you've got to get off. I normally just prise mine off with a penknife, but you know, that's just me. I'm a tight git.
Yep. Not RPG. Did I even put super sweet in this? I might not have even put any in here. I put it in the recipe. But this was sitting up on the shelf. Maybe that's why it just doesn't taste very sweet. Well, we're going to go with the 2%. We're going to put 0.64 in there. And if it kills my coils, it kills my coils. It's on a dripper. Well, who cares?
Gotta have a bit of sweetener in it, man. Just a little. Or not.
Oh. We just exceeded 2%.
Oh.
With this stuff, man, super sweet. 100 times stronger than sugar.
Really? Oh. That would go nice in the custard, that.
You know what? Just for that, today's dripper that we're going to build is the Arbiter because I still have one that I haven't opened yet.
Oh.
So we're going to open that Arbiter up, set it up, rick it, and I think the Prince is finally going to get its chance.
Oh, he's bringing the Prince out. Yes.
I'm going to try this thing out. If it's as good as I think it is, I'm going to make 2 more bottles, one for you and one for me.
You might need a little extra week. How long you had it going? Is it 3 weeks now or 4 weeks?
I could go and look at the recipe and see when we mixed it.
It was 3 or 4 weeks, isn't it? Now you could be nearly ready there, like, yeah, just about. It's about 4 weeks, I think. When did you make that? Ooh, when did you make that? There they are, the prints. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down.
You're delayed because YouTube.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at YouTube. I'm thinking, where's he gone?
There she is.
There she is, man. You've got her. I keep forgetting the delay on the YouTube. Bloody hell.
August 30th. I tried yesterday amongst my streaming. I test streamed like you suggested.
Yeah?
Over the last 3-4 days, probably 12 hours, trying to get this thing working. So it was August 30th.
30th, August, September. Well, first week in October, so you're about 5 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
That should be ready.
That should be pretty much it, like.
All right.
You can tell, you can tell when there's a juice ready because he sits there with such a beaming smile on his face, ready to go.
One that I know is going to be really good.
Exactly, like a kiddie in a sweet shop, really. Definitely tell.
I'm tasting the black currant.
Yeah.
Don't really get much raspberry out of it at all. And I'm getting the grapes.
I think raspberry is probably a very weak flavour, because I mean, some manufactured juices that's got raspberry and you can hardly taste it.
I did a raspberry watermelon lemonade,
Yeah,
and I had to push that flavor way up there. I mean, it's like 12, 13% or something.
yeah.
The whole flavor percentage in the liquid ended up becoming like 19%, which is unheard of for, you know,
Wow.
your normal juices. But once I got it there, man, that thing was fantastic. It tastes like you literally drank yourself a beautiful watermelon lemonade and then grabbed a handful of raspberries right off the bush and ate them.
That's what you want, man. Too funny. There's just a lot of noise going on upstairs. Sounds like we've got a herd of elephants up there.
The black currant and the grape taste like they're melded together. Like, I don't know. Is this a Vitmo or isn't it a Vitmo? Somebody over in England's going to have to mix it up and let me know. It's interesting. And you're not going to find very many U.S. reviewers mixing a black currant. Maybe down south, you know, you might have somebody that, you know, grows their own, but with my
Black
European
currant,
history, I've had it before.
Yeah. Now, blackberry is a different kettle of fish.
Yes.
Because we can just go and pick that off just about it grows wild just about everywhere in the UK and
Here in the US too.
I think I think they should be in season now. Blackberries, or they must be maybe it's just past because they're an autumn fruit. So, but oh, I used to love going getting that stuff. Blackberries, blackberry pie, delicious. Absolutely love blackberries, gorgeous. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could see this as a European. That would be a very interesting recipe right there. Whether it actually tastes like a Vitmo or not, I have no idea. But I could see this as a European soda.
Yeah, but it's definitely a big flavour over here. Vimto, it's popular, very popular. Vimtos, your Dr. Peppers, that kind of stuff, they're pretty popular over here. Amongst energy drinks, of course. Jesus.
I love this community we have here of vapors saying hi to each other.
It is, it's awesome.
I'm telling you, during the whole COVID thing, I went and watched Legion Vapes faithfully every single week, and it was fantastic getting to know the people from all around the world watching his show. I mean,
Definitely.
being over in Australia and whatnot, you know, if it was first thing in the morning for him, it was evening for us over here.
Yeah.
So there wasn't very many UK people on there, but there was plenty of people from all across the United States. There was people from all over Australia, you know, joining the show. And it's nice, you know, developing that community of people and friends answering your questions for you if you have an issue with something, or, hey, I just got this new tank and it's doing this. Is that normal?
It's the international community as such, isn't it, really? You know what I mean? It's not just on your home ground, it's worldwide.
There's 82 million of us
Yeah.
across the globe.
I see like China's starting to come down a bit now on the vaping. You have to make it over there, for God's sake.
Well, their new national standards came into play,
Yeah.
and the
Exactly.
only flavor they're allowed to have is tobacco.
You have to produce probably about 80% of the world's vape products.
And the thing that got me was the original list that they put out there originally authorized over 128 flavor profiles for them to have in their vapes. And then they ended up with just tobacco. That seems kind of fishy to me.
I just can't understand why people have got in their head that you've got to have a tobacco flavoured vape to quit tobacco. You don't. You know,
No.
it's just...
Everybody
it's mindful.
naively thinks that. They want something
Exactly.
exactly like the cigarette that they're smoking, but that's impossible.
Yeah. Plus, most tobacco flavours have got another flavour in. They're a fruit flavour or whatever. They're not pure tobacco. know what I mean?
There's over 700 additives that they spray onto the tobacco components in a cigarette.
Yeah.
And then you're lighting it on fire. How are you supposed to replicate that?
You can't, man. I mean, that goes round across the board, whether it's a cigarette or a cigar or a pipe. You can't copy that, man. No way.
This is a very interesting flavor. I see why you guys have such a popular high view of it.
It's like its own acquired flavor. It's its own acquired taste.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
when I
like-
first vaped it, I'm like, this is all right. Now it's like, the more I use it, it's like, oh, that's pretty good. It's just strange enough that it gets your attention, and it's like, oh, that's different.
That's the thing. I mean, when you've actually first tried a bottle of it as a soda, you'd be like, wow, that's weird, that. And then you just go, well, actually, the more I drink it, the better it's getting at.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you know what? That's how your all-day vapes are, too.
Yeah.
There's very few all-day vapes that I found that I loved it right off the bat. Because the problem is, if I love it off the bat, after you do that for 3 or 4 hours, it's kind of like, all right, I'm kind of sick of this already.
Yeah, you get bored.
It's got to be a little weird. Like P. Basardo has that peach watermelon peach. And when I first vaped it, I'm like, I see why this is an all-day vape. It's just weird enough that you can't make out what the flavors are. You get the main idea that you get the peach, you get the watermelon, but there's something else in there that just ties it all together.
Your finger on. Yeah, just something there that blends it all in it. You just can't put your finger on it.
Mette said, in Denmark, only menthol and tobacco are sold. Thanking myself that I can mix. Yes, you can definitely mix. Unfortunately, for us that love flavors and need the flavors to not smoke, this is the only way we're going to continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. I'm just wondering what's it going to be like for our kids.
Well,
my son's in the military right now, serving overseas, and he's in the country, he's in Japan, where you can't. They have flavored cigarettes there. They also have heat not burn, but he's not into that heat not burn. He'd rather vape than heat not burn. And if he doesn't have a vape, he'd rather smoke than use a heat not burn.
I think there's still quite a few people out there that do both. They haven't decided which way they're going yet. I mean,
if you get to be our age and you're doing it for health reasons, you make the full transition over. And then you start improving your health. You wake up, you don't cough in the morning. You're able to go up and down a flight of steps without getting short-winded.
yeah.
It's just amazing, how much my health has improved in this. Now, YouTube has done the opposite to me and made me put on a couple stone. Because I sit in this chair all day long, every single day.
As you do, yeah.
But
You want to get out to camp more. That's what you want to do.
yeah. My wife even said, you need to go for a walk once a day. Just 10, 15 minutes.
Buy a dog. That's my excuse.
I got two of them. I got two of them. I'm so lazy. I open the back door, tie them on the runner, and let them go out and play. Matter of
Oh my
fact,
God,
Lucy Girl's
no.
outside right now on the runner because she refused to come back in before the live show. She looked at me like, it's nice out. I'm not going back inside.
No, you get out there with them and let them drag you around the block a couple of times.
No, Mrs. Hunky Vape. You keep feeding me the way you are. I love your cooking.
That's a good idea, Mrs. Hunky. That's a good idea. Now, there's nothing wrong with a good old home food cooking. I'm telling you, can't go wrong with it. Man.
And when you go to the store to buy the stuff to make your home cooked meal, you sit there and think, man, for what I spent today, I could go out to eat. But you don't realize you don't use everything you bought all in one go when you're making your dinner. You got all kinds of little this leftover, that leftover, this leftover, this leftover. If you commit to making home cooked meals instead of going out to eat and limit yourself to only eating out one time a week, you could save so much money.
Meti, I'm gonna cock it here. Meti, I'm just gonna say Meti. He's commented here. He says, "Yes, the lungs don't whistle at night anymore." It's a weird one, man. Honestly. Dusty Country Road says, "Eat what you grow, lol."
Eat what you grow. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Living in a little town here, I tried growing. The one year was pumpkins and zucchini and cucumbers and stuff. Any of the broadleaf stuff, they got a fungus on them because in the morning, where the garden, I could put my garden, the backyard there. There's too many pine trees around, and
Right.
they didn't get enough morning sun to evaporate the dew. Promoted mold growth on the plants. So I hardly got anything. I got, maybe half a dozen cucumbers out of the whole garden. Pumpkins didn't make it.
Homegrown veg is, I think it's starting to get more and more popular over here now. Obviously, with the cost of living crisis that we have now, there's a lot of people growing their own stuff, and it's just your basic stuff: your potatoes, your carrots, your turnips, peas, beans, all that stuff, But when it's homegrown, it tastes so much better.
Now the carrots, the problem with the carrots is the rabbits. They come and they eat the greens.
Not around here. Honestly, I think maybe you're out in the sticks, rural, but like suburban, very rarely see rabbits around here. Man. That's the beauty of it. Like, a lot of people have got like allotments type of thing, and they're like, they could be in a city centre, but there'll be a green area for the allotments and that. So there's very rare any like wildlife as such gets in to get them. You know what I mean? So they're pretty good, most of it. But out in the sticks, like obviously, you'll get all sorts: rabbits, foxes, weasels, ferrets, stoats, whatever, rats.
My opinion, 1929
Nice.
says he's vaping on the Hell Vape Dead Rabbit V3 RTA. What are you vaping on today, Kenny?
Like I say, I'm on the Eclipse Dual. I'm just running it through its paces by Mike Vapes and Yacht Vapes. It's currently on my G Class 2. And I'm quite enjoying it. I mean, I'm not 100%. I mean, there's a couple of little things I'm not sure about, but yeah, it's generally pretty good.
I've got this yellow jacket from Bruce Pro Innovations. That's the nice little dripper that we got set up for this new Vitmo liquid we just made. And my all-day vape is still the Arbiter, because I still say it's the best RTA ever made.
Oh, it is.
For me, it's got the perfect airflow, produces tons of flavor, and the coils last forever.
Definitely. My juice I've got in is I'm finally getting another supply of me usual all-day vape, which is the Buddha Vapes Cherry Cake Dodgers there, guys and girls, and this stuff is lovely. The flavour profile on this is an almond sponge with cherry jam encased in a sweet pastry crust. And by God, it's good.
Dusty Country Road is vaping on the Helheim S and an Arbiter.
Helheim, yeah. They're good devices, them, like, really good.
Well, like I said, this is my favorite, so I got another one. This is going to make the 6th device that I have.
Oh, the OXVA Arbiter.
Justin Lai. He was the designer over at Geek Vape until he decided
Yeah,
to
that's right, the name
create
rings
his
a
own
bell,
company.
Yeah, the name rings a bell. Justin Lai.
And he created OXVA.
He did.
Fantastic. There we go.
Make sure there's no URLs or links on there, mate. No URLs
I
or
know.
links. We're banned. Be careful. Be very, very careful.
Only on the back.
Uh,
I also love the fact that this thing came with the bubble glass already pre-installed on here.
yeah, yeah, you're in the US, you can get that shit, can't you? We don't, the TBD, we get it separate.
Yeah, you have to buy it separately. But at least you still have the option available to you.
Oh, yeah. The simple, there's no, like everybody says, like, they are technically illegal, like, you know, over here with the TBT, but they don't.
Who's going to enforce it?
And yeah, but they don't actually. I mean, some companies will include the glass in the pack, but you'll have your standard straight glass installed on the device. But the way they've gone around it anyway, they've put it down as an accessory, not a part of the actual product. So the accessory is like down to the end user type of thing, and that's how they've done it with the cigarettes. When they banned menthol flavour cigarettes over in the UK, you can now get these white cigarettes that look like menthol cigarettes, but they're not. And what you do, you buy a card, and you put this card in your pack of cigarettes, and it turns them into menthol. And that card is classed as an accessory. That's the loophole. It's classed as an accessory. And that's
how I got into menthol, was the Camel Crush. I was a big Camel smoker for the longest time, smoked the Camel Wides and all kinds of different stuff they used to come out with. But they came out with the Camel Crush with that little bead in there that you crushed in the filter.
Pop it in the filter, yeah.
Oh man, that got me onto a menthol, and then I ended up becoming a Marlboro menthol smoker.
Yeah. I was never a menthol man, even with the cigarettes, never. I thought it was like smoking a polo mint. I think I just, as a smoker, I just like the harsh, horrible taste now, like of tobacco. You know what I mean? I like that hit and everything as a smoker.
That throat hit.
Do. Yeah.
See, that's something when you tried to quit, there was nothing replicating that. No matter what method you chose, patches, no throat hit. And there was no hand-to-mouth action. I mean, when I tried quitting, I even had cinnamon sticks. I would sit there and chew on cinnamon sticks to replicate having something in my mouth and to try and give me some kind of...
I tried these things called Champix. They were tablets. Oh,
yeah, I did Chantix.
God. Oh, me arm. Me arm kept going dead off it.
Oh, yeah?
I was having like a dead arm. I mean, I was like, oh, honestly, and I thought, nah, I'm not taking them in there. I was ill off them. I was sitting there thinking, how long is this not supposed to be a healthier option? I said, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Nicotine patches, I could never get them to stick longer than an hour anyway. By the time you turned around or done this, they fell off. They were hopeless. I think you see with vaping, it kind of continues the habit of smoking. You know, the hand-to-mouth action, it continues that. So I think that's why it's an easier method to quit smoking, because you're still doing that same habit.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously not with a cigarette in your hand, you know. It's like, if you're busy doing something, you know, if you're busy at work or whatever, or, you know, you're messing about your car or whatever, you don't think about having a cigarette because you're busy, you're occupied, and that's, you know, it's a similar thing, like you say, with the, when you're sitting doing nothing, you need to be doing that something, and that's that hand-to-mouth like action type of thing, you know. So, I think that's why vaping is so successful.
Very much so. I very much agree with you on that.
Right, now, let's face it, it's habit, and it's just habit of doing that. Basically it.
Oh, that's right. I don't need to use the coil cutting tool because I just drop it through. That's why I love this thing.
Oh, has it got the where you just push it through the deck and trim it after you put it in?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, they're cool then.
And it satisfies my OCD, so I can prep the coils ahead of time.
I don't know why they all don't do it like that. It's just so much easier. Drop it in, then just trim it when you've done it.
And they're in.
Saves so much time. What coils are you sticking in there by any chance?
The stock coils.
The stock coils that came with it.
Yeah.
And the NI80s, like, yeah?
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I like NI80s, like.
NI80, 0.4 ohms individually. Now, by the time you trim them down, and it's because it's a dual, it comes out to like 0.17.
Yeah, good point. No,
But it's a 28 gauge times 3 wrapped in 40.
Yeah.
3 millimeter inner diameter.
I kind of use that for all my RTAs. For my RDAs, I tend to go to stainless wire because I think it ramps up a bit quicker.
Yeah, I've used stainless.
It's
I
just
tried
my
Mixin.
personal thing, you know, just my personal thing. I just think stainless just ramps up a hell of a lot quicker than RDAs, that's all. But not everybody's cup of tea, like, obviously.
Yeah, but if you want to do temp control, you need to.
Yeah. I've never really took to that. I've tried it once or twice and never really impressed us. Looking good. I mean, do you think temp control is now a dying thing? Do you think it's a die-hard thing that, you know,
It is, because most people don't have the patience to do it. And
yeah. But yet you still get mods that, you know, allow you to do it, and then, you know, in detail, you know, setting curves and heats and amps and.
I like having stainless steel coils on a dripper, because once you do that and you set up your temp control,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about it. You know, is it overwicked? Is it underwicked? You tend to stop putting as much liquid on it, because the temp control will automatically cut it back if your wick dries out.
That's the beauty of it, without a doubt. Imagine if they could combine that to wattage.
Well, the way temp control works is it measures the resistance of your coil, and then as your coil heats up, you have to have a known curve for how that resistance changes. That's how it regulates the output. And when it dries out, it heats up too much. When it heats up, the resistance changes, and then it can make adjustments to keep your wattage the same.
Or just shut off, because if you get a dry hit, ooh, nope.
Yeah, exactly. When it falls out of range, it just stops putting the power to it.
It is.
And it gets to the point where you can literally are sucking air because it's in safe cutoff mode.
Yeah, not fire. I think it's a good thing, but like I say, I think the average user might be a bit complicated, you know, like the curves and all that stuff, so that's probably why it's dying out, you know what I mean?
I have a stinger. You ever have this? Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
When you cut it off, there's still one strand from the Clapton wire just kind of hanging out there in space.
Yeah, be careful with that one, matey. That's got short rod all over it. Alright, I'll just catch up with chat here while you're busy, you know, tuning that in. That Meti has just ordered the Blaze RTA. I have one, sir. They are very good. Definitely recommend that one. Dusty Country Road. How long will Super Sweet last? Thinking of just buying a gallon of it. A gallon?
Ooh, that's
Jesus.
a lot.
Especially if it's a US gallon. Oh.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's just sweetener and in PG.
Yeah.
Forget what it is. It's there's people that make their own. I never bothered to look into it.
I don't know, like, will it be a sweetener? Like, will it not turn? Now, like, will it change color or something over time? No, like how if you leave some in a tank.
It's just stevia, or I'm not stevia. What is that sweetener? I can't think of what the actual chemical is that's in there, or what the actual comparable sweetener replacement is.
Yeah.
I could look it up, but realistically, it's like it doesn't cost that much in relation to what everything else is. A big bottle like this, 4 ounces or whatever. I mean, this is probably last a year, and then I'll just buy another bottle of it. And this goes in almost every single recipe I make.
Yeah. That's still good though, 12 months, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely good for a couple of years. There's people that have been, doing this a lot longer.
Check on chat again. My opinion 1929 says the OXVA Arbiter V2 RTA and the Hell Vape Dead Rabbit V3. He owns both and they are his all-time favourites. Sean Lynch, has anybody got the Freemax Maxis Solo 100 watt kit? I haven't. I don't know if anybody out there else has. Whoop, you bug, I'm gonna fly off rounds again. Oh, jeez.
Sucralose. Mate Hoysa said sucralose and acid.
Sucralose
Little citric acid, I think.
Yeah. Pam Spruggens, muscle memory is hard to break, and I realised after 51 years of smoking I'm going to vape, and that was what was the hardest thing to break for me. Definitely. Dusty Country Road on your wire. He went, reputation, wire sticking out. Mete put in sucralose and acid, yeah. Dusty Country Road said, thank you, he will stick with a 16 ounce. He's still learning. Well, why not, bud? Why not? Awesome, guys. See, you didn't need to look it up, my friend. Your chat found it all for you.
I love it.
So I'm saying, when you're live, you don't need Google, just ask chat, and they can Google it for you.
Holy moly, this is taking forever. Fantastic. I knew I'd jinx it if I started complaining about it.
Oh, they're getting there, man. They're getting there.
Time for some tea.
Lovely jubbly then, man. Are we drinking Earl Grey?
No, it's actually Tazao tea.
Oh, Tazao tea. Oh, you get
Tazao. It's kind of like a limegrass or lemongrass base tea, and then I put a little lemon and honey in it.
Lemon tea.
And I also got a cup of coffee, but this was just what I happened to grab first.
A coffee and a tea. Jesus. Jesus Christ.
With my French vanilla crema.
Wow. Sean Lynch has asked me, do I vape with free base or nicotine salts? I'm a big nicotine salt fan. Very rarely use free base now because for whatever reason I really cough like hell on it and I don't know why. So I'll stick with the salts. There you have it.
Now, if I have a disposable, those are salt base.
Yeah.
You don't get a choice in it. And then when I mix my own, it's free base.
Yeah. I just like the salt. I think it's just smoother.
If you're at a higher nick, yeah, it's definitely a lot smoother.
Yeah. Plus, I think it sometimes helps with I couldn't get it out there, blah, 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 right. If you're vaping higher wattages as well, I think, it's a bit smoother. It helps you with that as well, I think. I found it, like, if I'd done free base at, say, 100 watts, I'd probably cough my bollocks off. But if I'd done salts at 100 watts, I'm no bother. Oh, there's a moderator, false as VIP.
Dusty Country Road says that I should make a nice vape lemongrass tea.
Ooh, why not? That's a very
That'd be
good
interesting.
idea. Very good idea.
Dinner time here. Have to go. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mete. Thank you very much for stopping in.
Thank you, Matty. You can always pop back in for your after meal vape. It used to be an after meal cigarette, but it's a vape now.
Yeah. That was kind of the hardest part of the actual whole quitting process. The after meal cigarette.
Oh, sorry, what did you...
First thing in the morning I thought was going to be the hardest, but it was actually the after meal
Yeah.
that was the hardest for me to deal with.
I think it was that, and obviously socialising as well when you're out and about, and you know, I getting dragged outside for a cigarette and all that. That was hard.
Well, we went camping for a weekend and then came back. By Monday, the cravings weren't that bad. So I didn't actually go down to the club to do anything until later on in the week.
Yeah.
It was by Friday, I had already been without a cigarette for exactly a week. So it didn't bother me. I had my vape. When they were smoking, I was vaping. So I was happy.
I'm kind of like that now. I mean, I'll quite happily, you know, mingle with smokers as such, but obviously not breathing in that smoke, you know what I mean? You know, keep me distance, but you know, it doesn't bother us now. It's like I say, over here now, you know, it's illegal to smoke indoors in a lot of public places now anyway, so everybody goes out for a fag anyway. But I've got no problem with people smoking now. I mean, for me personally, it doesn't bother us anymore. As in mean, I don't want one. Still bothers us that people are killing themselves in a sense, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. You're doing a bit of Mike Vape there, you're doing a bit of undertickle there, Bonnie lad, a bit of undertickle.
Hi, mate. I don't have a pretend friend of mine or a friend that wants this scraps, though. So that goes in the bin.
No, yeah. Well, actually, I've got an RTA that's made by a UK guy. It was produced by a UK guy called Nature Vape, Mark, and it was called The Nest. And it was like, well, what we're talking about with the week, it was like building a sub-ohm coil for it. You know, you wrap it around a jig and you put it in like a sub-ohm coil, and then when you put it in, you packed a load of actual cotton around the outside of it, and people use their scraps to pack that all in, so you weren't wasting your scraps, type of thing.
Yeah, but realistically, I mean, it's just cotton. And it's no longer useful as far as, you know, being able to, I mean, you're not going to throw it all into a basket and then respin it.
I could just see you sitting there on your little spinning wheel now, spinning it all out.
Listen, I like the rustic life, but I don't think I ever want to get that rustic. We love watching the show, Alaska, The Last Frontier. And it's just fascinating. Yeah. You know, even they don't take it all the way back to the pioneer days. They're running tractors. They have solar panels and lights, radios.
So they're not totally off grid.
No. Fantastic.
We get them series over here, but we're way behind you. We're probably getting some of that you've seen a year ago.
I don't know. I personally like the greatest British baking show.
Oh, the Great British Bake Off.
Yes. It comes over on our PBS channels and also on Netflix.
All right. Oh yes, we've got tons of cooking shows over here now, with all the celebrity chefs. Absolutely tons of them.
So what do you think? Is it time for the Prince, or should I give the audience a chance to try some commercial juice. Make me try some commercial stuff.
I want to go for the Prince first. I'm sorry.
All
I know you're chomping at the bit. I'm just going to let you go.
I'm not like you. I'm patient. I can wait.
Get away in. Had away in. Look at his smile. Look at the smile on his face now.
I'm gonna smile because it's a new juice, no matter what we pick.
Yeah, you got the cat. I got the cream. I'll be quite honest, I've been more curious as well. Just what you do think of it.
Smells fantastic, I'll tell you that. It doesn't smell anything like when we first mixed it.
Oh, but look at the colour on it now as well. You can tell it's got that colour. Oh, that's ready, that. You can tell by the colour. Look at it.
Oh, this is going to be wonderful. I could already smell it just off of what's coming off of this.
Oh, why is this monitor not scratch and sniff?
Yeah.
Yeah, the colour alone is just giving that away. Oh, yeah. It is nice juice. Dusty Country Road says he's still got 5 weeks on his Prince. He must have just recently mixed it. So you're now about to find out what you've got to look forward to.
Listen, this recipe's been public for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all the guy vapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I even put the date that we made it on the bottle.
There you go. Your date is the 30th of the 8th, 22. There you go.
Date might not be in the format you're used to.
You've only got one bit the wrong way around.
Yeah, you guys put the year first.
The month first. We'll go day, month, year. So if you're doing it now, it'll be the 30th of the 8th, 2022.
I see.
It's the only difference.
And then down in Australia, it's the year first.
Yeah. Well, they're upside down, aren't they? So obviously.
That's true. That's true. My grandfather lived out his life in Australia. Never got to meet the man.
Me friend's sister lives out in New Zealand. She's been there for a very long time now.
Yeah.
He's never actually met her in person for about 20 odd years, but they do Zoom meetings, so they still speak with each other. Like, so the wonderful world of technology helps.
Yep, here we are, almost opposite sides of the planet, and here we are having a live stream with people all over the world.
Oh, my battery's died on my snazzy light. Damn.
That's okay.
Saying that, it's literally straight out of the box. I haven't really charged it, but so we're just trying it. Here we go. You gotta like that. I don't care what you see. You've gotta like that. You've got to, man.
Yep, and that peach comes through.
Yeah. You gotta like that stuff, man. It's amazing. It is a bloody good recipe. I'll give him that. I'll take my hat off for that. Like, bloody good recipe.
That just became my all-day vape. My OG Blue. I got all 4 bottles are empty right now, except for the one that's in my wife's purse.
Would you know, I know it's called the print, but would you just like to announce the flavour, actual flavour profile of that by any chance?
This is a beautiful peach custard. Oh my god, this is a beautiful peach custard. And the more you vape it, the more that peach comes through.
Yeah. See,
Unbelievable.
I told you I'd get him into custards, folks. I told you I'd get him into a custard of some sort.
Wow.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, because now the peach is really forefront and the custard's kind of just the back note.
Yeah, it
A
just comes
backseat.
in behind it. Yeah. Oh, God, I'm so envious of you right now.
You'll have one for Christmas, my friend. It's the least I can do. Consider it your pay for being the co-host on the show.
What? I suppose it's only supposed to see it, Steve, for 6 weeks, not in 3 months.
But I'm going to mix it up and package it up. And by the time it gets to you, it'll be ready to vape.
Oh. I'll just be sitting in a chair like that when I'm really.
I'll send you a
Awesome
couple
juice.
bottles of it.
Honestly, it's an awesome juice. Some of these other ones are quite good as well. I think they're just variations of that, to be honest with you.
Wow. And that peach is perfect in there. It's so hard to get the peach to sit right in the mix.
Yeah.
It's either, right in your face and that's all you can taste.
Yeah.
This one, it's just a perfect balance.
The first time I tried it, I think I'd done the King
Wow.
one, not the Prince one, which is similar. And I just got the peach, I couldn't taste nothing. But then when I tried again with the Prince, it was like, blob on. Absolutely blob on.
Dusty Country Road, it's definitely worth the wait. Thank you,
Oh,
Michael
yes.
Redfern. I appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Michael.
And I appreciate all your hard work on Twitter. I see you advocating for vaping out there. Stormtrooper.
Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely worth the wait then, eh? This bloody fly. He's got my nerves to up. I really don't want
That
to
is
do it.
fantastic.
I had a feeling you would like that one.
I've been
not
wanting to
gonna
mix
say-
this since I first started watching Vic's videos and reviews. Before I actually started vaping.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I told you so.
I'll have to send him an email, see if he'll come on the show with us. Tell us how he come up with this recipe.
Definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, it's spot on. Absolutely lovely. It's good juice. Really good juice.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm.
If you get it right, it's fantastic. But if you get it wrong, it's horrible. It's as simple as that. There's not much in between. It doesn't give you much room for error.
It's so weird having the tea with this.
Oh, it goes together. Well, Howie, when you see Vic, he's vaping that, and he's got a cup of tea.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand.
But he's got Earl Grey. This is, is a
Yeah.
lemongrass compared to, an Earl Grey.
Get yourself an Earl Grey. It'll be even better. Trust us.
That reminds me.
Especially if you have a cup of tea, Earl Grey, with milk and no sugar, you get that bitterness of the tea, and then when you have that vape, you'll get the sweetness of the vape. It just goes together superbly.
I think I'm going to try just a simple ingredient just to find out what it's like. This is green tea flavor.
Green tea. Ooh.
TFA green tea flavor. Let's take a look at the flavor itself.
I never even knew you could actually get an actual tea flavour. Wow. Green tea. Quite a few, innit? Jesus.
That's because they didn't standardize the website when they first came out with it.
Right. Oh. One.
Notes. Good at 10%, maybe too floral for some people. Preferred single flavors at 4. Preferred single flavors at 10. Quite realistic green tea. Preferred single flavor mixes at 1%. 5%, 4. Can we get a consensus here?
It's quite a mix,
10%?
actually, isn't it?
Maximum quantity used 10, minimum used 1. Average mixing is 4.2%.
There's a one above there. He says you can go from 5 to 15.
Very strong flavor, but true to name, great for blending floral notes in low percentages, low quantities. Great with nectarine, passion fruit, honeysuckle. But this is something that I try to convey, you know, on the show, is to get to know your flavor. So I'm going to mix this one up at this 5%.
Yeah.
Just by itself, just so I find out what this flavor profile is like and see how it develops as time goes on. So let's create ourselves a recipe.
Like I say, there's a couple there that said if it's a single flavour, 5%. Like, so probably generally where people are heading with that.
And the thing is, at 5%, unless it's too strong, I can add fruits to it and blend it out. So we're going to mix up a 30 ml of that, and the only thing that we're going to add to it is green tea. It recommends 3.5%, but it's going to be a sole recipe, so we're going to bump that up to 5. And we'll save that.
Awesome.
And it's a very simple recipe. And like I said, the whole purpose of this is just to find out what this green tea actually tastes like. Because you can't adequately blend something with something else unless you know exactly what both of them taste like and what percentage you should start both of them off at. Like, it's going to end up developing a recipe that is perfectly balanced. So we'll find out at 5% what this thing is like. And if it's not strong enough, I can always bump it up. Try it at 7. Just add a little bit more to it, and then try it at 10% if it's still not strong enough.
Well, that's the beauty of it being a single flavour. You know, you can get to the percentage where you like it. You know,
and you get to know the flavor. You know exactly what nuances it has. Does it have any off notes? Is there any floral components to it, or is it astringent, or does it have a medicine kind of taste to it, or is it just too weak?
Definitely. I mean, it's like it's like
can't make a shepherd's pie unless you know what potatoes and meat and everything tastes like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if I review a tank or a drip, I'll do it with the juice I know, so I can gauge it off that rather than trying a new juice in a new device. You know what I mean? You'll use that juice, because you know the.
I've made that mistake before. Yeah, I've made that mistake before where I would go to do a review on something and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use this new commercial juice. It should be really good. I put it on there and it's like, is the juice crap or is this tank
exactly
crap?
That's the conundrum you end up with.
And then you're like, you got to pull it all out, dry burn the thing, clean it off, wick it up, and then put something you're familiar with in it. And then you go, there's nothing wrong with this tank.
Exactly.
That flavor that I put in there is not for me.
Crap. Yeah.
Very dark color flavoring. All right, 1.5. 5.
It's dark, isn't it?
It's really thin. Kind of makes me wonder whether they legitimately developed this by taking PG and throwing in, a big bag of tea leaves.
Just put a tea bag in it and just let it stew.
And let it sit there for, a week or a month or whatever. And come back and bottle up after they filter it and bottle it up.
That's an idea. There you go. I've got some base mix here. I'm just going to hire a tea bag in it and leave it for 6 months. How's that gone?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I've still noticed I should get myself some flavours. I've still got that's the one. I've still got quite a bit of base mix there. I can put something in there. Maybe just make one shot of something or a single shot of something. I'd rather go with that.
Tastes smells very earthy. Yeah. Smells like greens. Doesn't smell like a bag of tea. Well, kind of smells like a green tea bag. I don't know. Look at that. You breathe on the scale and it moves. That was at 1.55 30 seconds ago.
Must be a lot of moisture in your breath, mate.
Wet breath. Super sweet.
I think
going in it.
You know why that is, don't you? Because you're
Why's
still
that?
drooling off the. You're still drooling off the.
Still
prince,
drooling
that's
from
why.
that prince.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It is. That's true. That peach flavor sitting in your mouth.
Oh,
Wow.
It is.
And it's not too
amazing.
sweet.
No, no.
I expected it to be a sweet custard, but that is beautiful. Simple. Clean. All right. With a single flavor, our PG is going to be 5.91.
I wonder if that works. Oh, that's cool.
What you doing?
Well, my light went dead.
Uh-huh.
Backlight, so I've grabbed all of it, and it's got the Type-C charger. So I've already got one hanging out of my computer here, and you can run it while it's plugged in. So
Ah.
I'm gonna get a longer cable. I don't know if you can see it shining on my face there now.
Yeah.
Because the cable's not very long, but you can actually run it with power.
The lights I have here run off of, you plug them straight into a outlet, straight into the
Yeah,
wall.
well, this will run connected to a USB to something, so I'm quite I'll have to get myself a nice long lead.
The little spotlights that I originally bought, like to go overhead to light this down, are ones that run on batteries. And then I just bought an adapter, just like you buy for your camera. I bought an adapter for those lights that just snaps in there to replace the battery, and then you just run a power cord to it.
This one I'm getting pretty cheap. I mean, I don't know if you can see it there. It's an Andorra. What is it? It is? Yeah, Andorra, sorry.
Oh yeah.
It's dimmable. It's got all the little flashy lights and everything in it and all that. It's got like the police simulator, the ambulance.
Yeah, those are
lights.
nice lights for photography, so that you can go out and take photo shoots and make nice Instagram pics and thumbnails for your videos.
Well, I'll tell you what I was going to do for a giggle. Totally illegal. I was going to put on the police simulation
Put it in your
and
car.
put it in the front of my motor to see how many people would move for us. But I think if our local constable caught me doing that, he wouldn't be impressed.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Impersonating a
it's
police officer is a charge all around the globe, no matter what area you live in.
It's been pretty mad up in this part of the world, and we've just had the murder pretty much on my doorsteps, which
Wow.
is very, very rare. Children, unfortunately, it was kids. 14-year-old kid got stabbed in the chest by another 14-year-old kid, apparently. So that's 2 young lives ruined. One's dead and one's going to spend the rest of his life in jail now, so over something petty, apparently, which is a shame.
How about the kid that hacked into the people that make Grand Theft Auto, the video game? Out your way. Turned out to be a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, clever.
When he gets out of jail, I guarantee you there's going to be plenty of job offers.
Oh, what? Aye.
For you to be able to break into a major game developing company like Rockstar. I mean, I'm sorry, but
That's genius, isn't it?
the guy's got some mad skills.
There was a one that was on the news. I don't know if it was a Russian television broadcast or another, but that hacked into it and started doing all that, bringing anti this and anti that while it was live on TV. That actually hacked into it. Yeah, I was like, whoa. Hey man, they're clever people, but they can be a pain in the backside when they the poor Joe's computer in. You know what I mean? The average Joe, pain in the butt.
And you know how much painstaking processes go into play to keep our stuff secure?
Oh God, I wouldn't even like to imagine it.
I was, I got into that. I got a master's degree in information security to try and nip all that stuff into the bud. And it's just so hard to keep up with it all. It's impossible to keep up with all the 0-day vulnerabilities and things. And every software is different. Every database is different.
Yeah, they're always one step ahead, man, aren't they? There must be some guy who's sitting at that computer 24/7 going through programming, coding, whatever to do stuff like that.
Actually, no, what it boils down to is they have a community of hackers, and when they find something, they're not greedy little bastards. They sit there and they publish it on these forums in the dark web, so other hackers can get access to it, and they give you the stuff that they work on, so you have a whole arsenal of things that you can use to get into computer systems until they get patched. And you'd be surprised. There's some things that have never been patched.
Yeah.
The Microsoft, has put a bounty. They literally put a bounty out every year for people to report things that allow other hackers to get into Windows computers. And
there's a lot of companies actually that hire professional hackers to see if they can bust their software or whatever.
Yeah.
A friend of mine many years ago used to work for bank security. And his job was pretty much to sit and try and hack into the banks.
White hat hackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had certification for all that stuff back when I did my thing, but it's like, unless you actually have a job that you get paid to do that, it's impossible to do it.
Yeah.
If you're either going to be a crook that's going to use those things to make money and then not worry about anything, or you're going to be getting paid to do as a job. But if you're stuck in the middle, you're not going to stay there long. You can't afford to.
No. It's a lucrative world, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can get a job in it, they start you off 125 grand a year.
That's great.
But trying to get that job, forget it.
What do I get paid to hack into your accounts?
That's all I said. That 16-year-old kid that hacked into Rockstar, he's got a job for the rest of his life when he gets out of jail.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Kevin Mitnick that did all that computer hacking, back when it was phone phreaking, known as phone phreaking, not hacking.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He spent his whole life talking about how the human being is your worst security vulnerability. No matter how secure you make any computer system, you have to design it so people can use it. And the people that use it are your biggest security link.
Yeah.
Biggest weakness. Because anybody can, get a phone call and make it sound like it's coming from their boss. And they're like, listen, I need this right now. And they're going to go, oh, okay, here's my password. Get in. Fix it before I get in trouble. That's all it takes.
So easily done. So easily done, isn't it? Because we're so vulnerable to that kind of thing. You know what I mean? We don't think, do you?
Behavioral hacking.
Yeah. I've had people try it with me a couple of times. They've rang up, we're from such and such, can you log on to your account and all that? No, goodbye, pump. Simple as that. If you're not sure, just hang up and let them get on with it.
Yeah, your boss is not going to be calling you, asking you for your password so they can do their job.
No. Not when you're actually working for them, no. Oh, lordy do.
One more dripper. Throw some cotton in it. And that is done.
So, tea for its owner.
Well, this is the first time I've had that happen. Can't get it off the display stand.
Ooh, tidy. Pair of pliers, man. Just don't.
Any needle nose. I don't want to ruin the coil. If I clamp down on that without paying attention.
Can't be doing that.
So what do you have planned for the rest of your evening?
I'm just probably going to sit down and watch TV, mate. I've just finished the weekend of working, so it's just time to unwind now.
Any good shows on?
I just watch crap, basically. I mean, movies. I've never seen a good movie for a while.
Have you seen Top Gun, the latest one?
Yeah. I've seen
We watched that in the theater, and I bought it again so my daughter could watch it at home.
I think with that you've got to have seen the first one. If you just go in and watch it, you'll not understand it. That's my theory behind it. I kind of think that it's very similar. The first one, but just the. I mean, obviously the special effects have come a long way. You know, the flight was out of this world. You know, the flying and all that was out of this world. And they reckon some of it was actually real flying as well. It wasn't CGI or nothing like that. They were actually up there doing it.
Yeah, there were pilots that were actually up there doing it, and they wouldn't let Tom Cruise in the actual airplane.
No,
he's too old. He's older than I am.
Not that. It's not that. Imagine the insurance company as well. Whoa, no, we're not paid out on him. No.
My opinion 1929 says that he doesn't own any drippers.
Really? Wow. Where have you been, man?
Well, you know, as a normal vapor, I can understand why, you know, people don't have the drippers. They might have gotten to that part of their journey, or they're simply happy with their tanks if they, you know, rebuild their own. But when you get into doing your own recipes, you don't want to load a recipe you don't know if it's any good into a tank and then be stuck with it. No. That's the reason why it's fantastic to have these drippers. I
mean, basically that's where vaping started, with a dripper. You know what I mean? That's where it all began, basically, innit? And they're still classed as having the best flavour out of everything, basically. So give it a go, man. Have a go at it, mate. Really. Especially if you're building on tanks and everything, build on a dripper, it's easier because you've got a top cap off and you've got more room to get in.
A lot of people suggest, you know, that's how you get into rebuildables, is get yourself a dripper.
Definitely.
Because, you know, there's just so forgiving. You cut the wicks and you drop them onto the deck and you're done. You don't have to worry about it. Or is it too much cotton in the hole or not enough?
Oh, yeah, that's it. I mean, plus a lot of them now, you know, postless decks, you know, they're so easy to build anyway. Just drop them in. Or like the one that Alex has been using the other night, where you just put the legs through and trim them down after you built it. There you go.
It's a green tea.
You don't look happy with that. You don't look happy about that. Like.
No sweetness whatsoever.
Oh god, that looks no.
5% straight into the solution. It tastes like green tea. Like a bag of green tea you put in your mouth and use it like dip.
Oh no. Well, at least it tastes like it says on the tin, I suppose. It could be an acquired taste, that, like.
Cut it back to like 1% and add some fruit and add some sweetener to it, and we can talk.
Yeah.
But as a tea, wow. That's like you put your tea bag in the cup and forgot about it and come back to it, you know, a couple days later and go, oh, let me take a swig of that.
Oh, no.
No, I don't want to do that.
I think it's probably, like you say, a base ingredient or an ingredient you can add something to, or something. I can't see many people vaping that on its own.
Yeah. If I didn't just stick this all on here, kind of sounds like a dry vape. Kind of tastes like a dry vape. But it's not hot or nothing, so I'll just taste yucky.
Well, there's only one solution for that, isn't there?
Well, I got to know the flavor, okay?
There's only one way to get that taste out your mouth, mate. Get that print down, yeah. Look at him, swang.
Oh, yeah.
The face says it all. The face said it all there.
X.
Let's just put a sticker on that green tea. Do not vape on its own.
X.
X.
I'd put a skull and crossbones on there, but I'm not an artist. I can't draw. My wife might be able to do that.
Just get some labels printed, skull and crossbones, bang. Stick Bogan's logo on it.
If you look back in the corner, my wife made me a little 4-pack out of one, coolers that she bought because I was doing the initial review on it, and another one that I didn't end up doing was Bogan's original tank that he made because it's like sucking a golf ball through a garden hose. I ended up not putting a video out on it because I didn't like it.
No.
There's people out there that like their vapes that tight, but I'm not one of them. So me doing a video on something that I don't like and not saying that it's a piece of garbage, in my opinion, it didn't do the community any good, so I just didn't do a video on it.
Well, I mean, you could still have done it, but it could have been more tactful.
That was when I was first getting into it and stuff, and it's just like, did I put the coils in right? Are my coils too big for what I'm putting in here?
So you kind of doubted yourself a bit, eh?
Yeah. And then it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not doing a video on this one. It's like the musket. I talked about the musket, Vupu musket, but I hated it. Getting into the menu and trying to adjust the wattage.
Yeah.
You're sitting there clicking for 5 minutes trying to get it right, and you go past it, and it's like,
got to do it all over again.
why would you design your menu like that?
Have you tried your blood roll yet? The one that you got that was okay?
Yes, and it's nice. The airflow could still be more open for my taste, but it's better than the first one.
A lot of people have gone towards putting a 2.5 milli coil in it for that exact reason.
Yeah.
3.
The one person I know that, and he literally notched the corners of it to let more additional airflow in, and uses it like that.
Well, this tank here, I forgot the name of it again. The Eclipse, the dual RTA is exactly like the Blotto. Put 3 mils in, very restricted. Put 2.5 mil in, spot on. Very similar.
My opinion, 1929 says it's dinner time.
Oh. Is everybody gone for food now, like other? Why that ain't good.
Well, this stack of paper next to me shows that this thing actually, Chad, I need to put in other code and I'll build. But this is
Your better half has come.
That's a good, because the Capella has a beautiful, this is a nice recipe to do as a single ingredient. Since this one is horrible, and I can eventually see myself putting these two together, we're going to make a single recipe with just the harvest berry recipes. Because like you get a bottle like this, a 30 ml bottle like this, and this is just nothing but green tea, straight up green tea. So rather than just pitching this, I could take this and make a bottle of this, get the flavor I like out of this, and then just add a little bit of green tea to it to convert it from being just a mixed berry to a mixed berry green tea.
Ah, there you go.
Start off with, just adding a 0.5 ml of this into that bottle and see what it does.
Yeah.
See if you can taste the green tea, and then keep pushing that until you recognize that flavor in there, and then it balances out. So once again, we'll go back to our flavors.
I've just had, I've got you, like, but
No, it's on my end. It's disconnecting.
Oh, you're getting a bit of buffer, yeah?
Disconnecting and reconnecting.
Is that what that little bit noise is as well?
Yes.
Bloody internet.
I don't understand it. I have gigabit internet, gigabit download, and it's 40 meg upload. There's no reason for it to buffer. I'm only sending a 4.6 meg file, upload speed.
Yeah.
I got another 36 to go before I run into my cap. There's no reason for it to not.
Yeah, it just could be YouTube as well, because sometimes YouTube's a bit of a
Yes.
hit. It's looking good now. We're looking good now, so whatever it's done, it's sorted. Salute by the looks of it. Harvest berry. See, I could put custard on the end of every one of them.
Yeah.
This
So
is
we're
the
looking at
harvest
the
berry
same
recipe.
4-6%. Amazing at 15% by itself. The longer it steeps, the more complex the berry flavors get. Tastes predominantly cherry and black cherry with notes of strawberry.
Oh, there's your cherry flavour then for your cherry.
Now that
vapes.
would be, I wouldn't have thought of a
Yeah.
harvest berry to get cherry flavor, but if that's the
Interesting.
backbone,
Interesting, eh? Very interesting.
interesting. Interesting, if you read the comment further down, it says off flavors come off as slightly woody and a bit dry at higher percentages, like 6%, but typically goes away with enough steep time.
Throat hit 3 out of 10.
Hmm.
3's not much, is it?
Well, I think I'm going to stick with the 5% I did my other recipe on, and we'll find out
Wow, yeah.
what that flavor is.
Interesting. Yes, well, that was a cherry in. It'd be very good.
And we'll just do it a nice simple recipe to get to know this flavor.
It would still be interesting to do it with the green tea as well, wouldn't it? So you could still play about with that.
Yeah.
I generally think green tea as a whole needs something in it anyway.
Oh yes, you can't. You don't drink green tea by itself.
Exactly.
You know, if you buy a green
lemonade.
tea in the store, it isn't just green tea.
No,
They put lemon or honey or all kinds of
That's
other
what I'm
stuff
saying,
into
yeah.
it.
Even if you did, you see, you would get a slice of lemon hide on the side, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
have that one. There must be something seriously wrong if you have that on its own. That's all I can see. I don't mind a bit of lemon tea. I like lemon tea now and then. That's nice, lemon tea. But I very rarely try different flavours. I just stick with the Earl Grey. I just like the Earl Grey. Just like I stick with instant coffee. I'm not a coffee bean man. I just stick with instant.
No.
Nah. I
Tell you
think
what,
it's
best thing we ever did was buy ourselves a Keurig. I used to drink coffee by the pot, especially run an ambulance. There are plenty of times I come back and just drink the cold black coffee. But once we got the Keurig, man, that opens up a whole world of possibilities to try different flavors and stuff. Instead of buying, big bags of 5-pound bag of coffee or something, you just buy yourselves the pods that are,
Yeah,
you
we've
could have a
got one
random
of,
assortment of flavors.
yeah, we've got one of them machines, and I think the most I push the boat out is a latte.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. Like, but some of them, they're really strong. I don't like strong coffee. It's not good.
I do, but you can't have it all the time.
But I like sugar in my coffee as well. I can't drink coffee with no sugar in. It's,
That's why I go with the French vanilla creamer, because it's already sweet.
yeah. But my wife drinks coffee, no sugar, no problem. I'm not like, how do you drink that? Disgusting.
Yeah, I drink mine black every once in a while. I can't drink it black all the time.
Black coffee over here is associated with hangovers.
Yeah.
Get a
One too
black
many
coffee
drinks.
down him. Get a black coffee down him. That'll stop. Put him round.
Because of my gout, I'm not a very much of a beer drinker because it flares up my gout. So I typically have, mixed drinks. And my latest thing has been Jack Daniel's Southern Peach.
Ooh.
It's kind of like not really a wine cooler.
I'm not.
It's got that peach flavor to it, and it's really potent, and it's very sweet. I wish it was a little less sweet, but it's a malted beverage.
I used to like that peach snaps. Oh, that was dynamite, that stuff. It's one of them ones where you can drink it like pop, and then as soon as you step outside into the fresh air, it's like a man just hits you over the head with a sledgehammer. It's just woof.
We were out on our anniversary trip up at camp. We went out to eat at dinner, and my wife got herself a White Russian. And
White Russian.
this was actually made with rum chata.
Oh, God.
So it's like right up my alley. I'm like, oh, man. So we went out and had to buy a bottle of the rum chata and the vodka that goes in it and put that in milk.
Wow.
It's just, wow, that was actually really good. So that first day we got back from camp, it was like, okay, you want to write White Russian after dinner? I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
God, I'm not really a spirit drinker. Not now. I think I'm more probably a beer man, maybe, but spirits. I think I'm one of them people, like when you. Whether we were young or when you've had a night out and you're getting absolutely mortal drinking the spirit, like i.e. whiskey, and then you do.
Thank.
Yeah, take care. That's
Keeps disconnecting, reconnecting.
bloody YouTube. It's the actual. It's got to be YouTube. Got to be.
You have.
No.
Then again, it could be OBS too. This is the latest version that they have out there.
Saying that, sometimes YouTube's a bit fussy with your latency shit, as well. I mean, we used to average about 10-second delay, average.
Yeah.
I mean, today you've been pretty quick, actually. You've had very little delay. I would say maybe, 5 seconds tops?
Well, I'll check the settings after the stream to see where we were at. Maybe that might be the issue that I have it on low latency still.
Yeah.
0 latency or whatever. I have to switch it back up to medium.
Yeah, I think 0 might be giving you a bit. Not you, but it's just YouTube.
Yeah.
Will just be saying
YouTube can't handle it.
And that will be saying that 0 latency. You're having a laugh, aren't you? Get off.
Well, am I going to
go.
wick something else up, or am I just going to... I think I'm going to pull the cotton out of this one I just did the green tea on. To get the majority of it gone. And just throw some fresh wick in there.
If you think about it, if everybody went on 0 latency, the YouTube would bring crash, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because unlike Twitch, YouTube actually takes it and splits it multi-ways. You get HD, then you get a medium grade, then you get a low. They have to, process all that in real time.
Especially if you, like I say, you try going in 4K, oh, that'd be a nightmare now. Jesus. Oh, God. Ian's gone.
Throw some fresh cotton in there. Not even gonna fluff it or nothing. This is just straight out of the bag.
Yeah, Dusty Country was just confirming that he was getting a bit of buffering. Yep, we are aware of that, bud. And then he's commented, solar flares today, M class.
Oh, really?
Wow.
When I was in high school, I was part of the Aviation Explorers and had to learn all that weather and space phenomenons that affect things here.
We have just been lucky enough to view the aurora for once in our lifetimes. Northern Lights.
Oh, yeah?
We've been lucky enough to get it go over up at the coast and up at the Lake District, up at Kildare. You can normally see them up there. So they reckon it's been a good one. Not so long, like last week, they reckon it was a blinder. I would like to actually go.
I didn't drop burn the coil, so I still have a little bit of that green tea on there. But this harvest berry is coming through really nice, and it is prominently a cherry.
So it is a cherry, yeah.
Yeah, cherry, black cherry, maybe some raspberry, because it's got that sour kind of finish.
Is it an actual fruit cherry or a candy?
No, it's a fruit cherry.
Fruit,
There's no
yeah.
sweetness to it.
That's the one you want. That could be interesting then if you want to do any cherry flavoured juices.
And actually, with the residual tea that I have on the coils, that's all I did is I pulled the wet cotton out. It's not bad.
The cherry green tea. There we go.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'll have to vape on this for a little while and try it out. Get that green tea out of here altogether.
Yeah. Tell you what,
It's not something I can vape for a long time though because it's so dry. Because there's no sweetness to it.
Yeah, cherry just dry out of it.
Interesting.
Got to be mixed with something.
But that's how you get to know your flavors. Go through one by one, make up a bottle, try it out, get to know it, and then tweak it the way you like it. Find out how much sweetness this particular flavor needs for you to make a simple recipe with just that ingredient and a sweetener. And then you'll know your flavors, and then you can start mixing and getting more complex with your recipes.
It's all trial and error.
Yes, it is. And it takes a lot of patience, a lot of fiddling.
In my case, it's more error and lack of patience.
No. My original thing was, when I did this, I'm like, I'm going to get into coil building. That sounds pretty cool. I got the vise, I got it all set up, and I got the Diodalis, and I'm like fiddling with the Diodalis, and I'm like, this is a pain in the butt. Wow. I don't have this kind of patience.
Been there, done that.
I try making my own coils, and it's like, okay, well, it feels good to know that you can make your own if you had to. But that's where I draw the line. I'm sorry. When it comes to coils, I'd rather buy somebody's coils.
With me, it seemed like a lot of effort for little reward. Because you'd be sitting there wrapping this coil, and it's wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. And by the time you get it, you cut it down and you wind it, you've only got enough for like one set of coils. And you're like, There's about 30 foot away there for two coils.
And this is something that there's no reason why you can't get a machine that perfectly tensions the wire and perfectly, spins it through.
There's lots of people. I've watched some of the coil builders that have done little devices where they've got like a button on or something to give it the right tension, or they've got like a peg or something that's keeping it going. There's lots of little ways you can do it. But like I say, it would be so much easier with just a machine that would do it.
Definitely agree with you there. So that's why I was like, okay, well, what's next in the vaping foray? And that's where I got into this, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really easy. There's nothing to be scared of here. You don't like the flavor? Add some more.
With coils, I tend to get, sometimes I'll get the spools of actually pre-made wire, so what I've got to do is just wrap them and hide them on, and some of them being pretty good.
I feel bad. There was a coil builder that reached out to me, and said, I'll take care of you, whatever you need or whatever. And I'm like, at the time, I had just got in a bunch of stuff that I ordered for the Vape Apocalypse, so I'm looking at my drawer and I'm like, dude, I really appreciate the offer, but I got more coils than I know what to do with.
It's probably the case.
I'm like, and you've already given this stuff to bigger reviewers, so I appreciate the offer, but
nice to be sponsored or something, you know what I mean? So
and now that I think back on it, I'm like, I feel bad. I should have jumped on the opportunity and said, okay, well, this is what I love. Send me some of these and I'll do a review on it for you, but I passed up on the opportunity when I shouldn't have. Never hit a gift horse in the mouth. That's today's lesson.
Hindsight as well, mate.
Yeah. And it's not like I'm running out of coils. I got plenty of coils to do with whatever I need to. It's just, it would have been nice to get to know how good this guy's stuff is, and he would have gotten the promotion of having it on his on the stream.
Didn't get us wrong. I mean, you can get good, like, decent commercial coils, you know, that they'll hire in with a tank or something, or you may be able to buy them. But you kind of, to me, you kind of beat a handmade coil. You can definitely notice a difference. Like you say, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with these Tofo coils.
Yep, there's nothing wrong with them at all. They're good quality, but you can tell the difference sometimes with a handmade coil. Like, they're just...
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah, they're just out of this world. And, you know, they last much longer as well, you know, because they're well made. Yeah, they would. I used to get them all the time with Tofos and I-80s. What was it? Fused Claptons, three tri-core fused Claptons I used to buy with them.
Yeah, these are frame staple Claptons.
Frame staples.
So they're, you know, just a straight Clapton over the, you know, fused wires. But it works fantastic.
Oh, they're good coils. All right. Like I say, I normally get them like pre-made on a wire, you know, and they're brilliant. They come up. I mean, the Tofo do some on the coil.
I personally love these ones. BP Mods.
Yeah.
That's their number 3 Clapton. Fantastic wire.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today.
Yeah, it's been times flew over again, hasn't it? Jesus.
And I have my lovely receipt printer working, so now I can develop it. Now that I have chat working, I can add a switch to check and see if it's a super chat or a regular chat.
Well, all we know is that come Halloween, you're going to have plenty button.
I love it, man. This is fantastic.
You're going to be going through some bloody paper, mind.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised it really doesn't burn through that much. It's like this thick. This is made for, you know, a shop to have. This receipt printer. Those tills run all day long, and they change the paper every couple days, maybe, you know, every week or two. So
yeah, they're printing a little receipt like that. You're printing
specials and shop coupons, and stop back next week for our sale. Bring this receipt with you and get an extra 10% off.
Oh no!
I mean,
don't get shit like that.
They print out a whole 70-foot tree, and you stop in at a local store. It's like,
really?
Okay, your sales must be pretty bad.
Wow.
The worst. They print out a mile of paper.
Really? Jesus. I think we've lost you altogether now.
Yeah, it keeps jumping back and forth. I think that's YouTube's way of saying I've been streaming too much this seen it because I keep deleting all the test videos that are out there. But, you know,
Like I say.
And I love it. You know, you push a button, everything seems to work right. Fantastic.
Then YouTube fucking
Well, I'll leave the outro to you, sir. Thank you very much, everyone.
Well, if you can still see and hear us, thank you once again for tuning in. Been an absolute blast again. Time has gone way too quick. Thank you to all you guys in chat. You know, you make the show what it is. You know, love your input. And with that being said, hopefully we'll see you same time next week if this bloody internet doesn't go off.
Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate you guys. I'm sure we had a lot of fun today with this little Stanton Glance printer. Regurgitating all your wonderful comments. And my wish is going to be the same as always. Peace, love, and a hunky vape to end cigarette combustion. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.